Do not attempt to adjust your set. This is a Streaming Freedom Video Bulletin. It cannot be stopped, and it is the only free voice left on the net. Hello friends, and welcome back to the channel. For today's Skyrim mod showcase on the PS4, we're going to be taking a look at a more recent Resurrect spell that's been added to PlayStation. This Resurrect mod is, I'd say, a lot better in functionality than the Resurrect mod that I've been using for many years now. That mod had worked perfectly fine up until the Creations update, at which point I noticed that the spell was no longer working the way it was intended. It would not resurrect, say, NPCs that was added by other mods, for example, and even when it did work the way it was intended, sometimes things like certain animals would still appear dead even though they had a living AI. This spell that I've been testing works far superior to that, so I wanted to share it with you in case some of you might have had the same experience using perhaps the same Resurrect spell that I had. This might be a good alternative for you. I will be showing some demonstrations for those of you also that have never used a Resurrect spell, to give you kind of an idea of different ways that it can be used, including some ways that you probably don't want to use it as far as NPCs that you really should not try to resurrect. I'm going to revert my save back to before I had first enabled the mod. That way I can show you exactly how the mod enables and where to find the spell tome. With that said, let's see how to find today's showcased mod. So in order to find this mod, you want to bring up the search function with L1 and then simply type in Resurrect to the search bar. The mod that you're looking for is right here. The name of it is Resurrect NPC Revive Spell. It's been ported to PlayStation by mod author Brahess26, and the mod was originally credited to mod author dolandemort. Author's notes: a restoration spell that will revive NPCs, animals, creatures, but with a more sophisticated result than you'd get from running the Resurrect console command. Features: scales with your restoration level, preserves the inventory of targets to prevent item duping, doesn't allow the resurrection of any NPCs that you would be unable to cast a reanimation spell at, will restore your relationship rank with any resurrected actors. From testing, the spell appears to work alright on horses. The spell tome is added to spell vendors through script injection. Now there's a lot of information here and I don't have time to cover it all. We'll be taking a look at a few things in the video, but as always, please make certain to read the mod description in its entirety before you decide to download and install this or any other mod. So once you've enabled the mod, you'll notice that you'll get a notification that the spell tome has been added to vendors. Now I don't know if it's added to, I'm assuming just restoration vendors, as I've tested some others and they didn't have it, but I know one place that definitely will have it is up here at the College of Winterhold, located right here, right near, of course, Winterhold, right here on the map. So I'm going to head there to pick up my spell tome. So up here at the college, we need to locate Colette, as I know she definitely sells the spell tome. She can normally be found here in the Hall of Constance. So she's most likely upstairs. That's normally where I find her. I'll check there first. If not, then I'll go ahead and look around the ground. She might be wandering around somewhere. And I imagine that, of course, other spell vendors also sell it, but I know she, oh, there she is. I know she definitely does, so this is who I always pick up the spell tome from.
And don't let anyone tell you otherwise.
So go ahead and
why are my research materials constantly disappearing?
What she has for sale.
So you wish to master the arcane arts?
Mastered them years ago. Head over to the book section and you're looking for this right here, Spell Tome Resurrect. Now for me, it's located here. For you, it might be a little bit further down. In any case, go ahead and buy that.
Alright then.
Head into your items. Over to books. And locate the tome that you just bought. For me, it is right here. Go ahead and learn the spell. Head into magic. Over to restoration. I'm going to go ahead and favorite this. And it should now appear in my favorites. Yes, it's right here. So next, I'll go ahead and kind of look around and see what I can find to use the spell on, and try to give a few demonstrations and things to keep in mind when using the spell. So, I'll see you guys in a little bit. So, there's a hunter, went that way somewhere, and shot this poor rabbit. And so this is actually perfect because this is one of the ones that when I would use the Resurrect spell, it would never resurrect correctly, but this time it will. I'll go ahead and cast it on the animal, and as you can see, it will disappear, then it will reappear, and as you can see, the rabbit is fully resurrected. It has its full animations and AI, and that is definitely different from the way that it used to be. Used to, it would simply just lay still on its side like it was dead, and then just like go off in that direction. So this spell already, from my testing, works far superior on animals that the other one did not. Let's go ahead and see about finding some more stuff to test it on. So an oddity with this spell is the fact that if you find an animal dead like this, you can actually take the inventory of the animal, like the animal meat and everything that you see here. Now you would think that if you did that, as you can see it is currently empty, that the spell would not be able to resurrect it, but no, oddly enough it can. So again, if I put the spell onto my hand and cast it at the animal, you'll see that just like before, it disappears for a minute, then reappears, and is fully fine. Actually, surprisingly, it's not afraid of me either. So, definitely odd that we took the inventory, but it is now back alive, so make of that what you will. But just wanted to showcase that the spell can work on even an animal that does not have an inventory. Now I know who it is that's been dropping all the animals around here. Guess I picked the right road to decide to showcase this. So, wanted to show you a couple of things to keep in mind if you're going to resurrect an animal. For example, we have two subjects here. Now, if I go over and say resurrect this cow right here, this is something the old spell would no longer resurrect, but this one resurrects it just fine, and the animal is perfectly peaceful, as you can see. However, if you resurrect a predator like the sage cat, be ready, because the sage cat is not going to be too grateful. And that's what you get for doing that. So, trying to resurrect a predator, it's going to attack you. It's not going to be grateful to you for resurrecting it. However, you can resurrect a peaceful animal, like the cow that I did here, and not have any issue with it attacking you whatsoever. So here is something to keep in mind with NPCs, just like with hostile enemies for animals, hostile NPCs. The old mod warned not to resurrect an NPC with a missing head. However, this one will actually allow it. As you can see, when the NPC disappears, they will reappear with their head. But again, because he's hostile, that didn't last long. Thanks, Sophia. Because he was hostile, he attacked me right away, but even decapitated, it will work. Now here is something that you do not want to do. This NPC right here, watch what happens when I resurrect him. He was already dead to begin with. He was not killed, that's the way he spawned in. So because I resurrected him, he has no functioning AI. To the game, this guy is still dead. You can see I'm able to access his inventory. I cannot talk to him. He has no animation. He will not move from this spot. And I know what you're thinking. Well, in that case, if I accidentally resurrect him, I could just kill him again. No. Even if I use my most powerful spell, which would be, let's see, with what I have, I would think would be Incinerate. Go ahead and bring up. As you can see, he's completely immune, meaning that because I resurrected him, I'm going to be reverting my save after this, but because I resurrected him, if I allowed the game to save, he would be permanently like this in my playthrough. So you do need to be careful what NPCs you use this on, otherwise this could be something that you have in your game. Some creatures that you come across in the game world cannot be resurrected no matter how many times you try. For example, my bug dragon Draco here. If I attempt to cast a spell on him, it's not going to work, no matter how many times I attempt to try to cast it. Even if he was not bugged, it still would not work, and that's because the Resurrect spell will not work on anything that could not be revived using a Reanimate spell, no matter how many times you attempt to cast it. Finally, modded NPCs, like this mercenary archer, are able to be resurrected using this spell. Now previously, before the Creations update, the old Resurrect spell that I had worked on these types of NPCs too. However, at least for my own experience, I noticed it stopped working after the Creations update. But this ported Resurrect spell works just fine on them. Keep in mind, depending on the NPC that you resurrected, you might receive a letter of condolence saying that they have died even though they are now up and walking around in the game world. Or, if it is, say, a vendor, for example, they may end up having a family member attempting to replace them and do their job, and they may be there as well, depending on when you resurrect them. I hope this video helps you out. Thanks for watching it. Take care. This has been a Streaming Freedom Video Bulletin. Peace out.